Where's the soccer games?
Oh, at that big, what's the name of that big stadium in
Oh, the
St.
big one?
Allianz.
The new one.
The new one, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. What is that called?
Allianz.
Allianz,
Yeah,
that's it.
Allianz.
Yeah.
Have you been there before?
Yeah.
It's
this
beautiful,
spring.
isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
I've
It is
never
nice
been
and
there.
huge. And they have a standing room only section. I guess the tickets are cheaper, but they're over there playing drums and singing and, just carrying on. It's interesting to watch, people watch.
Oh, sure, yeah.
People watch, oh, sure.
And I think those almost always, they have a good crowd,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
There were still seats left.
Here we go. Here we go. We'll call this meeting to order. Welcome, everyone. It's 4 p.m. on Thursday, July 14th, 2022. And welcome to the library board meeting in the City Hall Council Chambers. First thing on our agenda is approval of the agenda. We have the agenda in front of us. Everyone's had a chance to look at it, and I have a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any other questions? I know that we had sort of a change in one of the bids. We got sort of a late start, but April's going to have to explain that. That won't change the agenda. We'll just move on to that. So anyway, all in favor of approving the agenda signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We have an agenda. And now the approval of the board minutes from last month's meeting.
I do have a correction to the minutes.
Okay.
Megan, under the staffing update section, it says that Megan started August 6th, and that's just not true. She started on June 6th. And I am so glad for that.
Yeah, right. Right. Okay, sorry, I didn't. Okay, thanks for catching that. With that correction, anyone have any other corrections? Otherwise, I will take a motion to approve the minutes of the last meeting.
I also move.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. On to the financial report.
So we are 51.23% through 2022, and our budget is approximately 39.1% expended. Bills that we paid during June included $167.76 to Class and Mechanical for just air filters, just a general supply for us, and $206.23 to a company called 4 Imprint for promotional pencils. We ordered 500 mood pencils to give out at the fair and other children's programming events. We also used funds from our 212 or donations fund to purchase a craft table for the children's room. That was from a previous donation by the Friends of the Library. We renewed our film license for another year, thanks to the Optimist Club. And we purchased prize books for the summer reading program, thanks to the Friends of the Library.
Great, thanks for that. Any questions about that, the current financial report? Happy we got a craft table.
Yes.
Wonderful. And if no one's got any questions or comments, we'll move on to the department activities report and statistics.
We are fully staffed.
Yay.
Megan joined us in June, and then our youth services aide, Jerry Grebner, has joined the library as well. So they are, through their initial training, still continuing to learn, but we've got a great staff on board right now. I'm really excited for the direction that we're headed. Summer reading is going really well. I'm pleased with how busy we've been. We've handed out 451 reading logs. 51 of those were to teens, which is a great number for us. We've just been busy with kids in for programs, story times. We've had a couple different pirates visit the library. They were shouting down in the meeting room yesterday. It sounded like they were just having a blast down there. So it's been great to have people in the building again this summer. And Catherine has done a really great job with summer reading. The Friends of the Library met yesterday. They received a donation from the United Church of Christ. The congregation had divvied up the remaining funds to organizations in the community, and the Friends were one of them. So they received a donation for over $13,000. So that was a nice surprise for them. They're in the process of planning the 2022 book sale, likely to be held in November this year. And they approved several donations to the library that we'll include in our board packet for the next time we approve donations. Their next meeting will be Wednesday, September 21st at 4 p.m. if anyone is interested in joining the Friends group. And then I just wanted to make a note, the statistics for June for the last several years for our door count have been a little odd. And we think we're having trouble with the counter, and it's just in June when we think the sun is hitting the counter beam just right. It'll blast our numbers off into space, which is fantastic, but not very truthful for our recording. So we've kind of had to do some best estimates based on, some days it'll be normal and some days we'll have crazy counts. So we're looking for a solution to figure out how we can be getting accurate accounts for that again. I don't have an issue. I think the rest of the months are accurate, but it just seems like June, when we've got the sun just coming in at the right angle, it gets a little wonky and then it fixes itself after the sun moves. Yeah.
It's interesting. Huh. Just at the solstice or
Yeah, it seems to be.
crazy?
That's it for the
Anything
report.
else?
Yeah. That's it for the report.
So just to make a note that the Friends have an extra $13,000. Are they looking to do some strategic planning, or are they waiting for us to do some strategic planning?
I think a little bit of both. They've been kind of in flux with their membership, and they're starting to get more stable membership again, at least in the board of directors. And so I think they're kind of going to see how this year goes into the Friends of the Library book sale. Typically, the sale is when a lot of people renew their membership, so they have access to that kind of preview sale the first day. And a lot of people haven't renewed their membership because we haven't had the sale. So I think they're waiting to see what happens there.
And just one other thing, I assume I'm correct that the city of New Ulm manages those funds.
No, the Friends of the Library are a nonprofit.
Okay, so okay, I'm glad I asked that. So they're a separate entity.
Yes.
They're a separate entity, and they keep their own books.
Yes.
Doesn't show up in.
Yep.
All right, good. Thanks. Good clarification. Anybody else have any other comments about what's going on at the library, or questions about the Friends or anything?
I have one question. With the wireless stats, does that include like the Libby logins and usage through that program?
That would be in our overdrive statistics that you see,
Okay.
the digital
Got it.
statistics. The wireless stats are just whoever's connecting to our wireless services at the library.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, now we've got, now it's all action from now on. We've got a lot of things going on. And the first action item, they're all good actions, by the way. The first action is resolution number 2022-11. It is accepting Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund grant for a program. In its June meeting, the Traverse des Sioux Regional Library Board awarded the public library with an Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund grant in the amount of $2,740 for 4 art classes to be held at the library and Highland Regency Senior Independent Living apartments. The classes will be led by instructors from Art Start. an arts education organization that provides workshops and classes to Minnesota communities. And this grant will allow the library to offer 2 sessions each of origami and ribbon ornaments of Japan and yoga and art. So, any comments or questions about that? Otherwise, I'll accept the motion granting that resolution.
So you said there's 4 classes, so 2 of each, but then there is 1 set going to be offered at the library and then 1 set at the Highland Regency Senior?
Yes.
Okay, so it's really almost like 8 classes, but it's really 4 classes, but just offered,
No, it's 2 classes at the library and 2 classes at Highland Regency.
Oh.
Yep,
One each.
one of each of those.
oh, I got it
titles,
now,
yep.
okay.
Good, sounds like fun. Is that a motion to offer? that?
Sure,
All right,
I'll so move that we accept the grant.
I'll have a second.
I'll second.
All right, well, good, we have a motion and a second. Can we call the roll?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
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 All right, we one down. One down, thanks, everybody. Now, the second resolution is number 2022-12, approving recommendation to dispose of surplus items. The library is assessing technology and other items that have long been unused, and the items are outdated, dilapidated, broken, unneeded, and/or incompatible with the library's current technology. As these items are accumulated over a time, storage space fills up and becomes congested. None of these items have residual value to the library, and so the library director has recommended that these particular items be designated surplus and either thrown away, recycled, or sold through the city's surplus process. And pictures of these items are attached. And 1 is an HP technology rack, 2 is an OptoClear 3500A CD buffer, 3 is a Rowland sound system control panel, 4 is 2 display racks, 5 is a metal cart, and 6 is 2 filing cabinets. Any questions about any of those items? Looks like junk to me. I'll take a motion to accept this resolution.
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
All right, anything else? Otherwise, can we call the roll?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
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 Okay, on to the next one. Resolution number 2022-13, accepting a donation from Charlotte and Hobart Anderson's Revocable Trust. And this is the big one, folks, so pay attention, you on the screen here. Charlotte and Hobart Anderson donated $60,000 to the library through the Charlotte and Hobart Anderson Revocable Trust. The trustees, Gerald and Carol Larson, confirmed that the Andersons made no stipulation on how the money may be used by the library. The Andersons had previously donated one of the concrete benches near the library's Wanda Gog statue. And the library director recommends that the library board consider how to use these very generous donation during our upcoming strategic planning discussions. And the action is that, as a board, we accept this donation with gratitude to the donors. Yes, and very, very gracious, very gracious. Do I have a motion to accept?
So move.
Second?
I'll second.
Any other comments or things to note? Hearing none, we'll call the roll.
Yes.
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 All right. On to Resolution 2022-14, accepting the donations from May and June 2020 and various memorials. And they are described as follows. Two from Betty Roiger, one in the amount of $14.95 and one in $15, and she has donated 2 books. The third one is from the New Ulm area. The next 2 are both from the New Ulm Area Foundation. And one is $280.60 in cash, which is undesignated, and the second is $182.10 in cash for children's programming. Then, from the Optimist Club, we've got $520 of cash for children's programmings, and then from Peter Buckley, a DVD in the amount of $15. And then on this same chart is the $60,000 from the Andersons, which we accepted separately. So I will take a motion accepting those donations and memorials.
So moved.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. And can we call the roll?
Margaret?
Yes.
Vince?
Yes.
Dustin?
Yes.
Bernice? Yes. Ruth Ann?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. On to resolution number 2022-15, awarding a bill for power washing the library's exterior. Now, the library did send requests for quotes for power washing the exterior of both library buildings, and that would include the stairs on the north side of the children's department and excluding all sidewalks and the book drop with the mural. And these requests for quotes were sent to 3 vendors: Clearview Window and Cleaning and Gutter Cleaning, Dirk's Window LLC, and Jake the Snake Sewer and Draining Cleaning. All submitted quotes, which are attached, and they came in as follows: Clearview, $3,600; Derek's Windows, $2,950; and Jake, $4,200. Now, the vendors did confirm that they will be able to complete the project before the end of the summer. We had previously budgeted $12,000 for the power washing and window cleaning project in the maintenance building budget line. And so we will not have to adjust hours. And the other point is that we will not have to adjust hours in order to get this work done. So,
This is the resolution that I sent out an update to this morning. Upon further examination of the process, we're not able to accept an update to any bids after they've gone out publicly.
Right.
So I did confirm with the vendor that his original quote to us would stand, and that's for Dirk's Windows for $2,750 would be the original amount.
So instead, and as I read it, it was $2,950. But because of the rules, he's unable to change his bid. So the actual bid on the resolution, which we'll vote on and sign, his bid will be $2,750.
That's correct.
Okay? And do we have any comments? Is there any reason why we shouldn't accept the lowest bid? Does anyone have any?
So a few years ago, or maybe it was even last year, we got windows cleaned. Who did that?
Clearview Window and Gutter Cleaning did the windows for us.
Okay.
I don't know if the library has been power washed or if it was when it would have happened, but not within the last 5
Okay,
years.
so the library has utilized Clearview in the past,
Yes.
although not for building cleaning, it was for windows cleaning.
Yes.
But have we utilized Dirk's or Jake the Snake for anything that you know of?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Does anyone have any concerns about
Has
accepting?
city staff reviewed all of the bids and they've all properly received and submitted?
Yes.
And liability issues and bonding and all that sort of
I looked-
coverage?
I'm sorry, Carl. I contacted the finance director to confirm, and there is no bonding that's needed because this is considered a maintenance project, not a building project or construction project.
And this is just for cleaning of the building,
Yes.
correct?
So would they need to be using any lifts or ladders or anything to get clean to the upper levels of it? or-
Yes, they would likely need a lift.
Okay, so as part of Carl's question then, so they're insured then for when they do that, so if something should happen?
I did not ask that specific question, but I can certainly do that if you choose a vendor. I can confirm that. with
I mean,
them.
it's just, I think it would be better to be safe than sorry on that, because if something does happen and they're not covered,
Well, I would make the motion that we accept the low bid contingent on their satisfactory proof of proper liability coverage for their workers.
Great, good. Thank you. Thank you, Carl. Do we have a second for
I'll
that?
second.
Okay. Any other discussion? Hearing none, let's call the roll.
Yes.
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 Yes. Good. All right, on to, now we're on window washing. Resolution 2022-16, awarding the bid for window washing. Again, the library sent out requests for quotes for window washing the exterior and interior windows of both buildings, and was sent to two vendors, Clearview Window and Gutter Cleaning and Derrick Windows. The library requests excluded the Minnesota Music Hall of Fame interior windows. Each vendor did submit a quote, which are attached, and Clearview Windows came in with a quote of $770, and Derrick's Windows came in with a bid of $775, $5 apart. And each vendor did confirm that they'll be able to complete the project before the end of the summer. The project will be completed after the power washing project. And again, the board had budgeted $12,000 for the combination of power washing and window cleaning projects in our maintenance building budget. And so that's the money is there. And the library will not need to adjust hours or services during the week. Okay.
Was there any price adjustment on these bids?
No, it was just the power washing.
Okay.
It's the power washing.
I'll again make the motion to accept the low bid.
I was thinking that since it's only a $5 difference, if Dirk's is already gonna be set up and have done the power washing of the buildings, could they then utilize their setup and just go right into the window washing after that? I mean, that's just it doesn't matter either way, but if it was a substantial difference in price, yeah, I would say, go with that, but $5 difference, it could be that they could just roll from one to the other and get it done pretty quick.
I concur.
Well, and you'll also be checking to make sure that they have the appropriate insurance.
And it's the same thing here then too, yeah. I don't know if the windows though would require lifts or if that's all,
They would.
maybe,
I think they did when they did them last year, but I
but I
certainly
know
double
like the
check.
Johnson room and stuff, that's upper level, right?
Oh,
And so, but maybe we should do the same thing then and just check to see if there's and since you'll be doing that anyways, so,
Is that a motion?
yeah, I'll make a motion that we accept Dirk's Windows as the window washing firm upon successful completion of the verification of the liability insurance. And then, even though the price of this is $5 higher than the Clearview one, with the hope that they can roll right from the building cleaning into the window cleaning.
Efficiently. Good. All right. Any other discussion or
I'll second.
questions about that? Hearing none, let's call the roll.
Yes.
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 Yes. Okay, now we move on to resolution number 2022-17, awarding the bid for landscaping. My gosh, this library is going to look so spiffy when we get done.
We're not gonna recognize it.
We're going to get on the front page of the paper here. Okay, Again, the library sent requests for quotes for cleaning up and updating the landscaping around the exterior of the 1937 library building. And I think we all agree it was starting to look a little ratty. So the library director did request that the vendors quote the project in two parts. One, replacing the tree and cleaning up the landscaping between the buildings on the Broadway side, and two, replacing the rock and steel edging along the north and west sides of the building with mulch, with fabric underneath and black plastic edging. The vendors were asked to preserve the existing plants in all areas, and both did confirm that was possible. Both vendors confirmed that they will be able to complete the project before the end of summer. Leading Edge Landscapes and River Creek Nursery sent quotes for both projects, which are as follows. Leading Edge Landscaping. Broadway side tree and landscaping replacement, $795. North and west side of the building landscaping, $1,125, and the total for both projects, $1,920. River Creek Nursery, for the Broadway side tree and landscaping, bid $1,520.48, and for the north and west side of the building landscape, $2,146, and the total from that vendor is $3,666.48. So here we have a pretty substantial difference. Now, this project, however, was unplanned and unbudgeted, but the library director is recommending that the project be completed this year because of the dead tree that was removed between the two buildings, and that she's recommending that the remaining balance of the 212 landscaping and sculpture donation fund be used first, with the remaining cost of the project coming from the library's fund balance. Can you tell us how much is in the donation fund?
Yes, it's $510.46.
Okay, so we have $500 to work with, all right?
Well, at the beginning of the meeting today, April indicated, we're doing pretty good with the budget. We're only at 39% spent, yet we're more than halfway through the year, so that's a pretty good delta. So I don't see any problem with us pulling the remainder of the money from the fund balance. Question I do have is on the tree that they're gonna be replacing. Did both indicate what kind of tree they would replace it, and did we need to get city approval for that type of tree?
I asked them both to quote a dwarf lilac, which is what's in the landscaping near the Wandagog sculpture. And there are dwarf lilacs also along the parking lot here at City Hall.
Great.
And we were looking for something that was hardy enough to sit in that shady area, but wouldn't grow too tall to snag the flag that's in that area too.
Okay, and so the city's okay with us doing that, or they don't have any say in that?
It's really up to the library,
Okay.
since it's on the library's property.
I think the city does control the tree planting on the boulevard.
Correct,
Yes.
Yeah,
right,
but not-
but
but
being
not for
that this,
us.
but being we're part of the city,
Yeah.
kinda sorta. They might wanna weigh
When they want
in.
us.
Yeah,
If you would like, I can certainly confirm that with
no, I mean, that's fine.
staff.
Good. Any other comments or questions? All right, hearing none, let's call the roll. Wait, no, we don't,
Yeah,
we don't, wait.
I mean, a
I'm
motion
way
and a second.
ahead. I'm ahead of myself.
I'll make a
I
motion.
need a motion.
I make a motion.
All right, motion to,
Accept.
I'll second.
What are we accepting?
Low bid.
The low
There we
bid.
go,
Okay,
there
thank
we
you very much.
There we go.
Confirm that that's what the plan was. Okay.
Landscaping project.
yeah, right.
Okay.
Good. We have a motion and a second to accept the low bid on, it's easy because the low bid is the low bid for both parts of that project, so we'll, and accept the library's library director's recommendation as far as where the money's coming from. Okay, we got that?
And
Any
then,
other?
well,
one
before
more
we go
thing,
on,
one
so
more
when
thing.
we plant the new tree, are we gonna be responsible then for, make sure it doesn't die, or the shrub, the watering and all that to make sure it takes,
Yes.
okay.
Good. Well, you're fully staffed, so.
Yes.
You're all right.
Find somebody to
All
do
right,
it.
There we go. There we go. Any other comments or questions or concerns? Those lilacs have been pretty hardy all around, so let's hope for the best. Hearing no further comments, let's call the roll.
Yes.
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 All right. Okay, now here we go. The last but absolutely not least is Resolution 2022-18, which is the approval of the 2023 preliminary library budget. So the preliminary library budget was prepared by the library director and must be submitted to the finance director by July 29th, 2022. And the library director is scheduled to attend a budget work session with the city council, city manager, finance director, and other department heads on August 16th. So you'll be meeting with the finance director first and then the more public meeting? Okay. And the library director will keep us informed about the decisions affecting the library. And is that going to be televised, that?
I don't know that the work session
Oh, it's a
is.
work
Yeah.
session, okay.
Yeah.
All right, good. Thank you for that clarification. Now, getting back to the resolution, the library director has estimated revenue under the categories of charges for services and fees and fines based on previous actual revenue and revenue generated so far this year, 2022. Based on those figures, no adjustments have been made to the charges for services. The library director assumed revenue from Brown County may be increased by 2.4%, which translates to $2,000 total or $400 per library. The Brown County Library Board submitted its request for this increase in June 21st of 2022. And we will schedule a meeting with the Brown County Commissioners in August. Brown County did increase its library funding by 1.5% in 2021. So, but this year you think it's going to be more?
That's what our request is.
Okay, all right. And so you're basing the revenue on your request
Yes.
of 2.4%. All right. Now, the vast majority of the library's revenues come from, the general taxes, which will be entered by the city finance department and approved by the city council. The Traverse des Sioux Board approved a 4.4% decrease of $1,512.17 in the New Ulm Public Library's membership fees. So we're shifting from revenue into expense. And that's reflected in the cataloging and processing budget line. And those fees are based on a formula that includes all the member libraries. Now, the library's primary expense is personnel services, which includes salaries and insurance. And these line items are set by the finance department. And those numbers are not yet finalized, and changes to those numbers are not on the attached preliminary library budget. So we're not in control of those.
Right.
Yeah, okay. Now, you have, however, budgeted for the following projects. $35,000 in library interior renovation for carpet replacement and furniture moving on the adult nonfiction floor, including the young adult area and the Fred Johnson room. $22,000 in office furniture and equipment for the addition of a study room pod and associated furniture. That's just one.
Just one.
That's just one, okay. Okay. $8,000 in computer hardware for the addition of a security camera system and technology for the study room pod. These are all very interesting. And then $7,000 in library exterior renovation for replacement of the accessibility button and cement near the book drop entrance. The revenue to cover these four expenses would come out of the library's fund balance. The fund balance is healthy and is currently at approximately 60% of the library's operating budget. The library board budgeted spending $59,400 from the fund balance during this year, 2022, and that leaves the fund balance at approximately 54% of the library's operating budget. And therefore, in summary, the 2023 preliminary library expenses show a 1.5% increase of $12,978.83 within the budget line items that the library board oversees.
And Ruth Ann, there is a typo in that amount.
Oh, what is it?
It should be $12,987.83.
Oh, not 7887. Okay, well, you'll fix that, no problem. Good, thank you. Now, let's see. I was on 1.5 increase of $13,979.08 in budget lines that the board oversees. And just looking back at the difference between 2021 and 2022, that showed a 2.15% decrease over the last year. And the changes for the line, then there's a summary of the changes from the budget as the line items. Office supplies up $1,000, general supplies up $1,500, audiovisual supplies down $1,000, books up $3,000, electronic resources up $2,500, computer supplies and equipment up $2,500, cataloging and processing up $1,512. Thank you, a minus. Down, catalog and processing. Oh, right, okay. 15, 12, 7, thank you. Travel, conferences, and schools, 500, up 500. Advertising and promotion, up 500. Contractual maintenance, up $2,000. Contractual maintenance of books, up $500. Subscriptions and memberships down $500, and special events programming up $2,000. So up a total of $12,000.
That total is wrong, too.
Oh, that,
That's
because of, okay.
Of the typo.
Okay, all right. So it's just,
$12,987.83.
got it. All right. And then the expenditures from the fund balance for the interior reservation are $35,000, exterior $7,000, office furniture $22,000, and computer hardware $8,000. So we got those totaled at $72,000. Okay.
Now, I did want to make a note, as we consider this generous donation from Charlotte and Hobart Anderson, you could also consider purchasing study pods and related furniture and technology with that fund, and then that would leave that fund balance expenditure at $47,000, but I don't know if you are prepared to make a decision like that at this point when we're looking at that as part of strategic planning.
I know we've talked about these study pods before. So, and I think one of the general concerns would be that, people are in this little enclosed area, and they might not necessarily be, the library staff might not be able to see what's going on. Is that what the security cameras are about?
Well, they would help with that. We could certainly place one so that we have a view of what's happening in the study room. But it's also just for general safety in the library, a project we'd like to complete even if we decided not to go with the study pod.
Okay.
The study pod itself, there's different models. There's one that kind of looks like a little rounded spaceship pod that you can do. There's one that looks more like a conference room where you can get special panels for a ceiling type thing. There are ones that have ventilation fans included in them. There's a lot of different options. I've talked with a couple different vendors, and based on the rough quotations they gave me, this is the price that I thought would be safe for us to budget for that if the library board decides to do that project.
Well, yeah, I'm interested in those study pods, and I'm hoping that maybe at some time we can spend some time looking at them, or what you're doing, because
But we don't need to make a decision on that
No.
donation at this time.
no.
We just go forward with your plan here of taking it from the total fund balance.
And putting it in the budget. Yeah, I'm
Yep.
ahead of myself.
Yep.
I'm trying to pick the color of the space pod. And we're just doing the budget. Well, okay, those were my questions about the pod. Any other questions about anything else in the,
So that
anything else in the
accessibility
budget?
button, is that just the post that's outside that has the push button? It doesn't include the push buttons on the inside?
Right, it would just be the outside one at this point. We've had some issues with, we think moisture is getting into the outer button, and it causes it to malfunction and just to keep the doors open, and that's gonna burn out the motor. And so we're trying to figure out how we can either resituate that post in a place that is still accessible, but not, less likely to get water in it, or find a better solution altogether to to that post.
Maybe
in
you
the
could
button.
find a position where it blocks the sun from coming in
Right.
and throwing the right.
That'd be perfect.
There you go. All right, good.
And the cement was something that Paulina had identified when she was the library director. We've had, just every once in a while, we'll have a patron who has a hard time getting a wheelchair up over the entrance plate there. And so we'd like to address that too.
Or maybe go with a lower profile threshold kind of thing.
Or a more gradual incline for the cement too might help with that.
April, could you give me an overview of the $22,000 set aside for office furniture, what that might include? And then if you have a number that is a dollar number that represents the 4.1% decrease in the TDS fee, how many dollars does that represent?
So the 22,000 for the pod would be roughly $20,000 for the pod itself, and then $2,000 for any table or chairs you wanted to put in there just to study furniture. The one company that I was in contact with quite a bit about this thought you could fit about 6 people in there. We would just want to make sure we're making it accessible for all of our patrons. So that would determine the size of the table and how many chairs we could put in one.
But then you had the $8,000 in computer hardware, some of that to go for the technology for that pod as well. So what were you thinking for that? Just having a computer in there, or?
If we wanted to make it a computer that could be used, and microphones and a camera in there, so it could be used for
like Zoom meetings or
Zooms.
something?
So that way, we've had people throughout the last couple of years come to the library who have had Zoom interviews and meetings and stuff, and this would be if we could consider making this a space where they'd be able to do that as well. And then, Carl, you asked for a number, a dollar amount related to the cataloging and processing fees change. So the TDS decrease of 4.4% is $1,512.17.
Okay, thank you.
So in that case, that's the decrease, that's a good thing for us, right?
Yes.
Basically, we're paying less,
Yes.
okay.
They are using some of their fund balance to cover costs, because they have a healthy fund balance and, wanted to kick that back to their member libraries. So it's for this next year, it might not be a decrease that we would see continued, but we're not expecting like a wild jump back up in 2024.
It's like the state having billions of dollars to give back. But we'll make sure it gets distributed.
Any other questions or comments? Thank you for all your hard work, appreciate it.
So do you envision this recommendation going forward being any problem with the finance or the other group that you're going to meet with?
I talked with the finance director about this budget, and my first pass was less increases than this, and she said, based on inflation,
Yeah.
she
I was
thought
gonna
that
say
I could.
1.5%. I mean, in today's environment, that's dirt cheap.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm expecting that, once we have the salary numbers, that number will jump, but in the lines that the library board oversees, I think
Right.
this is reasonable for the expenses that we'll have.
You had indicated that in previous years, the increases have been higher. So, okay.
I did do, there's some notes in the worksheet about some budget lines where things were not coded in a way that I thought made sense in the past, and so I made some changes to where things were lined up in the budget, which accounts for some of these decreases in the lines.
All right, I will take a motion to pass this resolution and move forward.
I'd so move that we approve the 2023 preliminary library budget as laid out.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Anybody want to make any more comments or set any concerns? If not, let's call the roll.
Margaret?
Yes.
Vince?
Yes.
Justin?
Yes.
Bernice? Yes.
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 All right. Is there any other business that should properly come before this board?
Hurry up and adjourn before I think of some.
All right. Hearing none, a meeting adjourned. Thank you. Good.
Thank you all.
Oh, yeah, right.